Don't push the button. Too late, I pushed the button. We're going to do Good Afternoon, Hare Krishna, Namaste, Hallelujah, Aloha. Chapter 6, Leaving the Maze. Chapter 6, which begins with a quote from Frank Herbert in Children of Dune. This is page 44. Foreseen Beyond Time by St. Clair. I hear the wind blowing... This is the Frank Herbert quote. I hear the wind blowing across the desert, and I see the moons of a winter night rising like great ships in the void. To them I make my vow. I will be resolute and make an art of government. I will balance my inherited past and become a perfect storehouse of my relic memories. And I will be known for kindliness more than for knowledge. My face will shine down the corridors of time for as long as humans exist. I feel like I should read that again. It's beautiful. Chapter 6, Leaving the Maze. This is a very short chapter, so and chapter 7 coming up after that isn't too long either. We'll see. Well, maybe we'll just do chapter 6 for now and 7. I don't know. The Master of the Light then spoke at length. Before we go any further into the complexities of extraterrestrial origins and the manipulations of human events, we must consider something else of even greater importance. Human understanding of events happening around the world touches on 1% of what is really going on. 99% remains beyond the currents of human visibility, hidden in what is for now a cosmic mystery of non-disclosed wisdom we have yet to awaken. What we see in this physical world today is what one might call the maze of events. And so, it is not very conducive really to personal enlightenment to ponder if this or that faction or group, nation, or ET race gets the upper hand. I understand that your viewers have a right to know the truth, but the truth lies within individual consciousness, and not outside in the labyrinth of accusations and denials. Within 4 generations, by the time Pluto moves from Pisces to Aries, the human species will be a unified teacher group and part of a new civilization, functioning as an awakened, genetic, and all-encompassing mind within a non-hierarchical structure. We come from a timeless lineage of advanced teachers representing a balanced, interplanetary culture. And when we tap into our intuitive intelligence, these things are known to us instantly. The new mind of mankind will become stable, and with it, able to use this knowing. Human beings today and their perceived leaders are not in charge nor in control of what goes on here on Earth. This is something people need to be aware of. The regressive alien agenda is to control the natural progression of energetic human development. We want to leave the maze of this planet intellectually and spiritually speaking, to see beyond it and to foresee what really matters to mankind. We must remain unaffected by artificially constructed events that are hitting the world, so as to regain the inner ability of seeing, by which I mean seeing clearly. What is really important, in addition to what Jiddu Krishnamurti taught, is that off-planet groups are attempting to influence world leaders and sovereign nations, and only when each human being can overcome his or her own internal division will war and conflict end. You wish to know about extraterrestrial contact and what it is really all about? She nodded and said, I would like you to I would like you to explore the notions of time travel, inner visions, and the techniques of remote seeing, and how you know what you know. But first, let me quote Dr. Jerry Zeitlin, the former American scientist who wrote in Open SETI, quote, "In the 20th century, we broke our earthly bounds and walked the sky. In the 21st century, we will seek companions there. Through science, we hope to gain advanced knowledge of who we will find." The program designated to gain this advanced knowledge is named the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, but SETI is nothing more than a badly contrived myth. It seeks legitimacy through claiming membership in the larger scientific community, which itself is a collection of old myths that have outlived their usefulness. You have suspected as much. Now, for the first time, this issue is fully explained. Perhaps the SETI cheerleaders were your introduction to this subject. Prepare now to go where they will not and cannot go, to where myth, mind, physics, consciousness, and reality all meet. This subject demands no less. You deserve no less. The journey is crucially important, especially now, as we face the oncoming wave of chaos. It's the end of Chapter 6. Chapter 7. How much time we got here? I got plenty of time. An attempt at, I got a 15-minute time limit with videos made with the Samsung. Put on YouTube. Quote from Albert Einstein. Chapter 7 is called Seers, Prophets, and Visionaries. Einstein, an attempt at visualizing the fourth dimension. Take a point, stretch it into a line, and curl it into a circle. Twist it into a sphere and punch through the sphere. That's an attempt at visualizing the fourth dimension. Seers, Prophets, and Visionaries. I take it you and most of your viewers have seen the videos with Dr. Dan Burish, the former MJ-12 microbiologist of the Greys, notorious Area 51, circulated on the internet in 2007. This is the Master of Light speaking, in quotes here. On the show on Tatiana's television program. Human beings emerged on Earth from other worlds and other time dimensions through highly advanced connections that span cosmos. The higher civilizations call this the womb of life. Not all genetic variations on Earth appeared out of the skies during extraterrestrial interactions. The most ancient of Earth's Egyptian civilizations were time travelers, as you would call them. They knew how to pass through the portals between the worlds. Your creator is a high-tech genius in terms of creating living mythology models of existence with interconnecting quantum fields. Space is an inhospitable, supernatural place not conducive to interstellar travel. Physical biological life forms cannot survive outside the resonant field of their planetary sphere. The ancients had other ways to populate the Earth and other planets with their cultural and racial seed. Are you saying that extraterrestrial contact has formed the behavior of cultures on our planet? She asked. As you probably know, Mikhail Gorbachev witnessed the extraterrestrial connection in 1984. This is probably part of the reason he was able to sail the Glasnost ship so close to the wind within Russia at that time. An offer of peace was rejected by the would-be masters of the planet, since they believed that they held the upper hand in terms of technology. The forces manifesting peace on the planet are very resourceful. The Earth has been a hotspot for struggle and control over many millennia. The creative cosmic experiment on Earth is not an easy one for its inhabitants at this time. Different races in conflict outside the Earth have to get on. They have to learn to cooperate and understand each other. For their own survival and sanity, they have to learn to live together and appreciate each other's differences. Outside the Earth, many of these races have an age-old conflict raging, and in some cases, these have created destructive interplanetary wars of the worst kind. The Earth experiment was created to bring The Earth experiment was created to bring the warring races together and form an alliance of peace. Earth humans will one day be interplanetary peacemakers. Some of the more aggressive races do not want this, and their opposition makes its way into many governments and nations on Earth. The conflict divides the different realms within the Earth, within the Earth's magnetic field. In the near future, people will connect with the different realities and learn from them again. These other realm contacts formed the mythologies of the ancient world, however. They are more real than people today can imagine. What you are saying sounds a bit like Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, she interjected. This is also similar to the ancient shamanic circles of wisdom. Tolkien's world is more real than people want to understand at this time in Earth's history. Humans were more connected in ancient times, but there was also less interference from the warring races. I have seen the assault on the Elves' kingdom, the wars with the underground dwarf races, the destruction of the older kingdoms, and the closing of the energetic fields connecting the different vibrational realities on Earth. I have lived through the genocide of the native peoples in North America, the destruction of the Toltec and Mayan kingdoms, and the ruin of Egypt. I have experienced the fall of Sumerian and far older Atlantean cultures who traveled from faraway stars in the Orion system. I have seen entire civilizations come and go. I was among those who sank Atlantis when we realized the experiment was running out of control. We used scalar technology. Today we have seen the North Atlantic Sea Passage open for shipping. And what does Canada do? They announced they wish to control the passage. As you see, the insanity is still alive in terms of who wants to control the world's resources. It sounds like a dictatorship of the seas. The granite mountains of the countries will survive, as all dictatorships naturally come to an end one way or another. From a Nordic, Tibetan, or Celtic perspective, the art of seeing is Zen applied. Meditation is by far the most elusive and also the most dangerous of all the arts. The seeing arts can be deceptive to those who do not understand the background frequencies of visions, and especially the subtle vibrations of the as yet unformed futures. To better explain a little more why people make so many mistakes when they see what they think is a vision of future events. Entangled minds and misguided psychism lead to paravisions. They are blinded by the paranormal world in the same way Saruman was misled by Sauron. Networks of converging time-space lines, frequencies of many dimensions, and alternative realities simultaneously exist in the same energetic space, all of them superimposed on the unifying cosmic energies, the sea of frequencies we call life. Many different future realities coexist, not all of them co-create. Stop there for now on page 52 of chapter 7. Foreseen Beyond Time by St. Clair. Here comes the sun, do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's all right. Do-do-do-do-do.